So guys, if you don't know who I am, I'm just gonna jump right into it. I am Harveer Singh. I am a real estate coach. I do some public speaking. I am the host of the Don't Be a Basic Biscuit podcast, which you could find on all major platforms. All you just got to do is type Don't Be a Basic Biscuit in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast, and you'll find it. I'm actually launching season 2 of the podcast this Monday. So you could listen to all of season 1 right now, and you could jump in on season 2. So it's the perfect time to jump in on that podcast. I am also the manager of the Jersey City Hoboken office of Howard Hanna Rand Realty, which is an amazing company. I was also previously ranked on Property Spark for my social media presence. So I was number 1 in Jersey City for my social media presence, number 4 and 7 in New Jersey, and number 95 in the past for my Instagram presence. So that's who I am. And I wanted to start this off by kind of telling you a bit about my story and my brand story. So what happened was, as we all know, during the pandemic, there were some issues that were going on where we couldn't necessarily show properties. Some of us still did it and some of us couldn't. But one of the things that happened was I needed to get my face out there. So what happened was we all sat at home and we either did one of two things. We either used that time to our best abilities, and or we just sat there and got fat. I did both. So I gained weight, but I also utilized that time perfectly. During that time, I decided that I needed to find a way to create a brand that would allow me to get my face out there. At first, I started with a pin, which did not seem to work very well because I thought, let me drop these pins around Jersey City. Maybe people will start using it. And it was built around a positive saying, which was at the time, we will thrive again. Because what was happening was that people were very panicky and nervous about the pandemic, what's going to happen afterwards. And this was not only in the real estate industry, it was pretty much every industry. Then I decided, okay, if I want to get my face out there, let's find a way to literally get my face out there. And that's when I started coming up with the idea of creating a logo of my face, because it is very unique, as you all know. I got the glasses, the beanie, the beard, the plus size nose, and it was a way for me to kind of get myself out there in a way that I was spreading some positivity with the saying, and also getting my Instagram out there. So you can see from this slide right here that I have my Real Estate Sing, which is my Instagram. I'd love to have you guys connect with me on Instagram, by the way. So be sure to find me. It's Real Estate Sing on Instagram and all the other platforms as well, including YouTube. But if you can see here, my brand is built heavily around my glasses. As a lot of you said, you noticed me and recognized me from my white glasses and remember me for that. That is a personal brand. Essentially, my personal brand worked because you remembered me because of the white glasses or the beanie or the beard or whatever it was. And the brand name for me is Real Estate Sing. So the goal of the seminar essentially is that I want you guys to be able to create a personal brand that positions you as the top real estate agent in your market. I want you to be able to build a memorable social media presence and create authentic client-focused content that drives conversions. Guys, this is all great. Creating a brand, spending time on social media is wonderful. But if you can't convert that into actually generating income, then it's really a moot point and it doesn't really benefit us. About 60% of my deals can be sourced back to my social media and branding. This does take time. It is a slow grow, just like in real estate. When you are planting your seeds, they sprout down the road. Same thing with real estate and social media, where you're planting your seeds, spending time on your social media, but the benefits will come to you down the road. So the overview is going to be the importance of personal branding, discovering your brand identity, crafting a personal brand message. I will go over the different types of brands that real estate agents have used. And I'm going to be specifically going over real estate agents and how they have built their brands. And these are regular agents. These are not multi-million follower agents. These are people who have built a brand that is working, and they might only have 100 followers or 200 followers, but it's still converting. I'm going to go over how you could build your online presence, the types of swag, meaning the types of physical things that you could create that will help you with your personal brand. And then we're going to talk about evaluating and reevaluating and evolving your brand as time goes along. So Why does a personal brand matter? So pretty much 90% of realtors who invest in a personal brand see positive return on investment. And clients choose agents that they feel the most connected to, not the most experienced, oftentimes, right? So you realize there are agents out there that have 30 years in the game versus agents that might have maybe 1 year or less in the game. But what happens is if you don't have an online presence and if you don't have social media presence, that might not make as much of a difference as you might think because people don't know that you have 30 years in the game and people don't know that you have all this expertise. And that's why building this brand and making sure that it goes out there is very beneficial. A brand is a combination of your personality, your values, and your expertise. So guys, personal brands are essentially going to be based on you. And let's go into the importance of why your brand is your biggest asset, right? You can see my face over there, and that's my brand. That does not necessarily mean that your brand has to be your face. It differentiates you from other agents. You will build trust, authority, and professionalism, and it makes you memorable to potential clients. Again, if you were here earlier, people were saying we first of all we have agents from across the country, and some of the agents from North New York were saying, "Oh, I remember you from your glasses." Right? That is a personal brand, and having a personal brand makes you memorable and it makes you relatable, and that's why it's so important. So now discovering your brand identity. Now, guys, what I actually want you guys to do is get a piece of paper for this meeting because there is gonna be some activities here and I'm gonna be telling you guys to do something because this is not supposed to be a class where you just listen to me talk. I actually want you to get something out of this. I want you to start building your brand while we're doing this. So I'm not gonna tell you to do a SWOT analysis right now, but have a piece of paper. Every single one of you have a piece of paper because at the end of this, we are going to do an exercise and it's going to be very important that you have a piece of paper separate from a book. Anyways, I want you to conduct a SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats about yourself. So we have to do a lot of internal viewing and a lot of understanding of ourselves and taking a hard look at what makes us different. This might often be the thing that you hate most about you because it's that one thing that you were picked on as a child, perhaps. Maybe, it's this look that you have, maybe this laugh that you have, maybe it's this hairstyle that you have that you don't love. Maybe your hair is always curly and you want it straight, or maybe it's always straight and you wanted it curly. You really want to deep dive into that one thing that makes you different. And it's oftentimes things that you really don't like about yourself or the thing that really makes you stand out. So make sure that you analyze yourself. So figure out what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, and what are your threats. And I want you to take a good look at your weaknesses and be very honest when you're writing this out for yourself. Identify your target market. So we need to talk about, is that really going to be a building? Because there are a lot of agents, like for example, I'm in a vertical market, not a horizontal market. And we have all these buildings where they're just agents that focus on one building and are making multi-millions. You could do a building, you could do a zip code, you could do a city. It could really be anything. So I want you guys to pay attention and understand what is my target market. Not only about, the building, zip code, or city, but you might want to talk about in your head, what is the demographic, what areas, all that stuff. Define your niche. Now, you can do this. This might be very beneficial to you, or this might be something that you don't want to focus too much on, but define your niche market. Do you want to focus on bank-owned properties, focus on FSBOs, expires, first-time buyers or investors, or do you just want to be a general realtor? But the beauty about a personal brand is that the more concise it is, and the more that you are, explaining your value to people down to a specific point, the better that it will get out there. Now we're going to continue with discovering your brand identity. So I want you guys to write down on one side of that sheet of paper, what are 3 adjectives that describe you as a person? And I want you to do this while we're here. I want you to write down, who is your ideal client? So if you had to write out who your ideal client is and exactly what they look like, I want you to write that down. Who is your ideal client? The reason why I'm asking you who your ideal client is, because I want you guys to be able to, when somebody asks you, let's say you're at a networking event and they say, who can I refer to you. I want you to be able to have an answer for that, like an elevator pitch. Because if I go to networking events and what I do is I go to the people there and I say, hey, who is your ideal client so that I understand who I could refer to you. Now they're probably going to ask the same question to you. And if you're just like anyone that has real estate, it's funny, but to be very honest, you need to make sure that it's memorable to that person, the type of client that you want. If you're focusing on listings only, talk about people that are downsizing or upsizing, right? Stuff like that. What makes you different from other realtors? This is pretty much what you're going to build your brand on. What makes you different? I don't want you to say, oh, well, I'm the same as every agent. That's not true. Every single person in here is a unique individual. We are different. We have different DNA, and we grew up in different environments, and we had different experiences in life. You do have something different that you bring to the table. So what makes you different from other realtors? I want you to write that down. So you might have values where you are a very, very loyal person, right? So that could be something that you build into your brand. You might have different values where you're very jovial and you know that might be something that is built into your brand as well. So write those down. Do you have any hobbies? For example, one of my friends is the medic realtor, and you might know him from Instagram. We do a lot of shared posts together, and I've interviewed him on my podcast. He has over 20,000 followers on his Instagram. He is built on a meme and humor page, and I'll be talking about him a little further along. But his hobby slash what he does, he is also a medic, right? He's in the ambulances and helping people. So his brand is the medic realtor. That has created a way for him to be different from other people. And people remember him because of that. Now we're going to talk about what is a brand message. So a brand message is the soul of your brand identity. It's the why behind what you do and how you communicate it to the world. It's very important. Now, I'm not just going to say, oh, all right, what is a brand message? I actually created a formula that will help you create your brand message. So the formula is I help blank client achieve blank result by your blank, ideal approach. So so this is me, right? This is what I did when I first started because I'm also a CPA. So I help new investors achieve success in real estate investing by utilizing my personal experience and CPA to get you the best investment properties out there. You guys have to be able to say what you do very easily. That's the problem that people have when they meet new people and they're asking for referrals, is that they don't know how to ask. And so this will help you figure out how to ask for a specific referral. Now, this does not need to be just one thing. This is geared towards investors. So if I were at an investor conference, this is what I would say. If I was doing a first home buyer, first home seller seminar, I would have a whole different brand message that I wanted to convey. So write this down on your piece of paper as well. I help ideal client achieve a desired result by your unique approach. So keep this handy as well. Now let's talk about brand examples. You might recognize some of these realtors because they're pretty big, and some of them are from our company. You see Margot Bolin here on the left. If you're from Hudson County, you see Jill Biggs here on the right. A lot of you probably follow Actually Agents right here on Instagram, Medic Realtor, who I spoke to, and then there's this guy that some people know in the middle there. His name's Ryan Serhant. So there are different types of brands. There are brands that are meme pages, let's just say on social media. There are brands built on comedy. And the idea for this type of page, which is a meme page, is to attract other realtors. And to monetize it through a meme page is to get referrals and clients. So the type of brand that this is the Medic Realtor, who is a meme page on Instagram. Actually Agents, which you guys see, which are the funny videos about realtors that you see online on your Instagram, and you laugh at it. You share those pages to other realtors, and sometimes you put it on your stories. The benefit of a meme page is they post funny content that is shareable. And what happens is if you build a client base, a following of other realtors, you could generate income through referrals. And if you kind of use this as a relatable thing for buyers and sellers, they will start following your page and be more inclined to use you as well. The other type of brand is built on a physical trait. Now, clearly, I did mine based on a physical trait because I have a very unique look. And the two people here is, I have me and I also have Jill Biggs. She has the big hair that everyone remembers her by, and I have the unique look. And I put a motivational quote in my brand. So the dream big, dare to do is kind of one of my values, which is to ensure and let people understand that anyone can make it big in the world as long as you dream big enough and act upon it, right? So dream big, but don't only dream big, dare to do what you're dreaming. So that is my brand. So another example of this at the bottom is the bald realtor is somebody that I know. The big Indian realtor is another realtor that I know, but they utilize their physical traits to essentially get out there and be memorable. Now, like I said before, that unique thing about you might not be something that you like. Like the bald realtor probably isn't happy that he lost all of his hair, or the fat Indian realtor is probably not very happy that he's a fat Indian. But people will remember you based on certain traits. And yes, it may not be the thing that you want to focus on, but it'll essentially help you get further. Okay. Another one is built on a saying or a tagline. Some of you, of course, know Margot Boland. She's one of the premier agents in Rockland County. She's been around for years, and she built her brand based on a tagline, which is simply the best. She plays that song in the background wherever she goes. She has her, fingers up for number one. And it's a repeated saying that she continuously says that has now become attached to her as a person. When somebody says, oh, Margot Boland, they think, oh yeah, she's simply the best, right? So she has created this tagline that she has put everywhere, and that has made her very memorable. You could build it on a color. So this is an agent out there that I know, and she builds it around hot pink. So every one of her posts online is hot pink. She wears hot pink all the time. All her branding is hot pink. All her signs are hot pink. So you're gonna remember her because, oh, she's the hot pink realtor, right? Like, oh, everything is hot pink. So, all her marketing materials match. Certain colors bring certain personality, and she has become the hot pink realtor. So here I put also what some of these colors convey. So blue can convey trust, calmness, and professionalism. Red could convey passion, energy, and urgency. Green is growth, stability, nature. Now let's just say you have a hobby that is nature oriented. Maybe you want a green color theme. Black and silver is sophisticated and luxurious. Orange is creative and enthusiasm, shows enthusiasm. So realize that you could do that as well. Now you could do personalities and personal brands, that are built on a brand. Now, of course, I have two people that are very, very well known, but their unique personalities is why we follow them. We have Ryan Serhant and Jared James here, if you know them. They're quite large within the real estate world. Now they have their personalities, right? You could remember, Ryan Serhant for his branding and how he conveys himself. His brand is suit and tie New York City realtor, right? And then you have Jared James, which is more the social media realtor. He's not really a realtor, Jared James, because he does more coaching and all, but essentially he is the social media coach. Now, we went over a bunch of them, so it could be based on a color, it could be based on a saying, it could be based on a logo also, it could be based on a physical trait. Now, you don't have to have this as a one trick pony, right? So my personal brand is built on a saying. It has a logo. Mine doesn't have a color scheme, but it's also built on a personal trait. So you can have multiple things that are going into your brand. Now let's talk about your online presence, because just being a realtor and building this brand is not going to be enough. You need to be able to make sure that this goes out there and people know about it, right? So what did I do to build my brand, right? I am constantly posting on social media and people see my face all the time. So if you go on Real Estate Sing on Instagram, every single thing is my face. It's going to be hard to forget my face. I am not going to let you forget my face. I want to be in your nightmares. I want to be chasing you. Do you want to sell a house in your nightmares? I want to be every facet of your world. I was once driving down the road and I had a magnet of my face and that I'm a realtor on the side of my car. I had my windows open. The person walking by did not realize that I had my stuff open. And so they were essentially to their partner. They're like, I see this guy everywhere. I see him on social media. I see him. I had my window open. I was like, all right, cool. So I really hope you call me when I'm a real when you're looking for a realtor. And so we were laughing about it. But essentially, you need to be everywhere. Have your brand in your email signature. Have a digital business card, guys. Digital business cards are really important because you know what you guys do when you get your business cards when you're at a networking event. You get all these business cards. You're so excited. I'm going to be working with all these people. But then what happens when you go home? All those business cards just sit on your nightstand. You don't do anything about it. And that's not good. That's why these digital business cards are very important because what you're doing is you're forcing your number into that person's phone and you're also forcing their number into your phone. That's really where it's going to help you. Banners on websites. Now, banners are essentially that top area on your social media pages. So let's say you're on LinkedIn, you'll see that thing in the back. Utilize those banners on YouTube, Facebook now, but not only those social media platforms, but also utilize those banners on realtor.com, Zillow. A lot of these places have banners, and you need to make sure that you're utilizing those pages and optimizing those pages in the best way possible. Because what you need to do is to make sure that when you are Google searched, everything comes up and everything looks professional. So, guys, what I also want you to do after this is Google your name, right? So make sure you Google your name, see what comes up, and I want you to click on every link. If you click and it says, John Smith or Jane Doe on realtor.com, and you click your realtor.com and it shows that little empty face thing, that little body that's gray, you're not doing it right. You need to optimize every single website that's out there and mention your name, your post, or what you do on every post that you put up there. Now, to talk about social media strategy, I want to quickly touch on this is there are different strategies for different platforms. So, what type of content works for realtors? We're going to go over that. So, for Instagram and Facebook, I always follow the 70-30 rule. Now, the 70-30 rule is that 70% of the content you post should not be real estate related, and 30% should be real estate related. Why do I do this? Because if you're posting 100% on Instagram and Facebook, there's something called the algorithm, and you're just going to become white noise, and they're just going to push your stuff to the side. And it's not going to reach other people. Now, 70% on Facebook should be personal stuff like family, you going out to, certain restaurants, you with your friends, you enjoying the holidays, and you guys have to be in the post, guys. Stop hiding. Everyone knows what you look like. This is not some great reveal. We've been around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Everyone knows what you look like. Everyone knows what you sound like. Put yourself out there. It's going to be very helpful for you. Now, the other strategy is on social media platforms like YouTube and LinkedIn, where I have the 100% strategy. I say 100% business, 100% education. This type of platform. Yes, you could sprinkle in your personal life, but these are the education platforms where it is completely okay to talk about business all the time. So some post types that you could have are, behind the scenes of a realtor. So if you're at an open house, take some videos or stories of you at the open house, client photos. Guys, if you're at a closing and you didn't take a photo, did the closing really happen? Your bank might disagree with me, your bank account numbers, but on social media, you need to make sure that you're sharing that so people know that, hey, this person actually closes deals. Do a real estate market update. That's very important, guys. I would say every quarter, do a market update. Do funny reels and TikTok style reels, which I say is TikTok style because we're not sure if TikTok's going to be around very long. But YouTube also has YouTube Shorts, which is very similar to Instagram's Reels. So do those, follow the trends. Whether it's real estate or not real estate, there are funny trends that are always out there. Talk about why you love your job. Real estate nightmare stories are hilarious. One of the stories that I use is when I was showing a property Thank God I locked the door because somebody started breaking into that property while I was in there with my clients. So that is a real estate nightmare story, which is hilarious, but people will remember you by it, right? So we have to make sure that whatever we do, we want to make sure that people remember us. We want to be memorable. That's how they're going to come back to us. That's how they're going to remember to message us when, yeah, it is crazy. It was wild. I had to call the cops, and there was like an elderly woman there as well, and she just started trying to open the door. And I was like, stop opening the door. This person is going to attack us. So it was a wild time. Another one, guys, we have nightmare inspection stories all the time. I had a story where we were at the inspection, the floorboard was squishy, and we all know what that means. The inspector pulled it open. There was termites everywhere. The buyer still wanted the property, and we were able to negotiate the price $15,000 lower, and we got the property treated. That's a crazy story, and I'm sure every single one of you have a crazy story, even if it's funny and inappropriate. Just say it in an appropriate way. Do an educational style reel, talk about rates, which is very big topic right now. A lot of people don't understand that although interest rates are high, the second those interest rates drop, the price of these properties are probably going to pop as well. So you're kind of, better to kind of lock in that property's value down here with this rate that you can refinance down to here when it goes down there. Video testimonials, guys. This is also very helpful because you want to utilize a video testimonial for things like having your clients review you over video, right? We don't do enough of this. When you're at a closing, do a little selfie video, be like, what do you think of this deal? How did I do? And then they'll say blah, blah, blah. Post that. People will see that, hey, this is not just a quote on the post where like you're over here with your like, your like suit and tie, and then there's like a quote with like, oh, this was a great realtor. This was a fantastic transaction. No, you guys, video is king and queen of social media. So make sure you utilize it. And again, follow the trends. I wrote it there twice because it's very important. All right, swag. What types of swag can you use, right? There are stickers like I use. I have magnets, which are very good. Now, what people sometimes do is they create magnets of their business cards, which I think is really cool so that you could keep that on the fridge. But what I would do is make it a little more legible. When you have your business card, sometimes everything's really small. Just put the important stuff on the magnet so that they can put it up. Buttons, of course, I had the buttons, which didn't necessarily work for me, but I know that some people collect buttons. So you having some of them is really cool. Pens. I don't, oh yeah, I have pins up here too. People love pins. People put them on their backpacks and stuff. Coasters. So I actually created coasters and went to local bars and gave them to the bars. And they had free coasters. Okay, so there you go. Somebody goes, my kids know who you are because of the magnet on the fridge. So guys, utilize magnets. And what else are people say? I still have your stickers. Exactly. So guys, that doing this is a very cool idea. And now there's another thing that I would tell you to do is so I created a sticker with a QR code on it. And so now when people say, do you have a business card? I give them this. And this is very memorable. Have your logo here. It doesn't have to be your face, but have your logo here and that over there. This could be a magnet or this could be a sticker. And this is very cool. This is going to help people remember you because you're not giving them a traditional business card. This could be your saying or your name in like a cool logo form. So it does not have to be your face, guys. Remember that. Postcards, make sure that your brand is on your postcards. The color scheme, everything should be constant and consistent across all platforms. Door hangers, make sure that your branding is on door hangers. Sign writers, make sure you're utilizing those sign writers to the best of your abilities. Have them customized. Car magnets, guys, I know this is old style of marketing and advertising, but it works. Everywhere you drive, they're going to see you. Just make sure you use a photo of yourself from today, not from 30 years ago, because there is a woman in Hudson County, and I'm not going to say the name, but she has a photo of herself from 30 years plastered all over her car. And when I met her, I thought it was her daughter. So make sure you use a photo of yourself so people remember who you are today. Put it on clothing. As you can see to my photo over there, I have it on my clothing. I don't wear it all the time. I am not a narcissist, I promise you. You could create Christmas ornaments with your branding. You could create business cards, of course, that's already there, and note cards. You could create custom note cards that you handwrite notes to. Guys, handwritten notes, phenomenal. If you're a Brian Buffini fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. But handwritten notes go so far. Anytime you have a closing, handwritten notes to everybody. Anytime you go anywhere, anytime anyone that you meet, handwritten note. Trust me, you will become very memorable because of it. All right, important things to remember. Your brand does not need to be viral in order to be successful. People think, all right, well, I'm never going to be like XYZ realtor who has 5,000 followers, so I'll never be good on social media. I know people on social media that have 100 followers and they have such good engagement and they're like friends and it's like a community and they're always chatting with each other and they convert heavily on just those 100 people. When in Howard Hanna, we have, Joe Rand, he talks about your sphere of influence and your top 100. That's not a top 1 million. It's a top 100 for a reason because you need to focus on a small group of people that will allow you to get the information out there and utilize them to the best of your abilities. Also on social media, which I didn't mention before, is that you need engagement, right? You do need to do a lot of engagement. When you're on social media, don't just post your stuff. You need to be engaging on the stories at the top of your Facebook, of your Instagram Reels, of your on your YouTube shorts. You need to be engaging with other people's posts also. Because what happens when you engage with their posts, your posts are going to start popping up on their page more because they're going to say Instagram and Facebook, and everyone's going to be thinking, oh, wait a minute, they must know each other. So we should show them each other's posts more often. And that only happens when you're engaging with other people. So go on, make sure that you are liking other people's stories, make sure that you are liking other people's posts, and make sure that you are engaging. Super important. Don't hide your face. Guys, this is the biggest issue that I see of realtors is that when they're on social media, all they put is like, happy 4th of July, happy St. Patrick's Day, the time changes this weekend. And it's all these other like little like logo style stuff that has nothing to do with your face. People need to remember you. Yes, it's cool. Do those posts, talk about the holidays, but you need to put your face in your posts. So whether that be a reel and a video, or whether that be an actual story, a photo, make sure that you put yourself into the post that you put up. So important, guys. Stop being shy. We are realtors. We cannot be shy. We cannot afford to be shy. So put yourself out there because how is anyone going to remember you or like you for that matter, if they don't know what your personality is like or what they look like? There are people out there, they're like, hey, I follow you on Instagram and I have no idea who they are because all they post is random things that have nothing to do with them or their face. I'm like, I don't know who you are. How would I know who you are? Because you don't post your face. So guys, do not hide your face. Utilize video, reels, shorts, again, with your face. I am going to really hammer down on that. And then follow the trends, whether that be reels and trending music. Guys, I have a podcast episode in season 2 where we talk about social media strategy and how to utilize trends. So make sure that you follow the Don't Be a Basic Biscuit podcast on wherever you see it. You could either subscribe to the YouTube page, which is youtube.com/real estate sing, or you could go on any of the podcast platforms and just subscribe. So I want you also to be able to evaluate and reevaluate your brand. You don't just create a brand once and then keep it there, but you see what works and what doesn't. So the first thing I told you guys, I did a pin. So this was during the pandemic, the quarantine, when everyone was at home and everyone was sad and everyone was thinking that life was over. So I had the saying, which was, we will thrive again. I wanted people to feel like, that, hey, look, it's not over. We're going to make it. So I did that on a pin. And at first I was like, this is not gaining any traction. So I quickly changed my strategy and I created the face logo, which you guys all know. And back then it was, we will thrive again. Then it started sounding a lot like somebody, a political person that's out there. And so I decided I don't want to be linked to any political person. I want to have this to be a completely separate thing. So then I went into the other thing after the pandemic was over, that dream big, dare to do, because that is something that is very important. Make sure that you're evaluating and reevaluating your brand constantly because you are going to make changes. Like, look at the difference between the second and third one. I changed the font to be more readable, and I also made the Instagram way bigger so it's easier to be read. So see what you're doing and make sure that you're consistently making changes. This is going to be my favorite part, and the part that you guys probably are going to enjoy as well. So that sheet of paper that I told you guys to have, I want you to take that sheet of paper out with with a pen, and I want you to write down everything that you want to be 5 years from now. Some of you may have done this, some of you may not have, but I want you to go write on that piece of paper for a few moments, and I want you to write what car you want to be driving, if you want to lose weight, how much weight you have already lost 5 years from now. I want you to think of the number that's going to be in your bank account 5 years from now. I want you to, I don't know, what clothes are you wearing? Visualize this. Are you going to be in a Lamborghini with a scarf flying in the wind and a chihuahua on your lap? I don't know. Whatever your dream is, I want you guys to write this down right now. So I'm going to give you guys a moment to do this. I really want you guys to write this down in great detail, specifically exactly how you want to look, what you want to be, where you want to be. You upgraded that house or you finally downgraded the house that you were in. Think about it. Do it right now. So guys, in the chat box right now, I want some of you guys to write down and type in there what you want to see yourself as 5 years from now. What did you guys write? I want this to be engaging. So write in the chat, I want $1 million in my bank, or I want a million more. Maybe you're already a millionaire. I want to be closing XYZ amount of volume every year. So throw some stuff in the chat. Don't be shy, guys. There's 97 of you guys on here right now. All right, land developer. I love it. You want to be a land developer 5 years from now. Top agent. Helping realtors make the best. Pay off my mortgage. Travel to Israel. House on a lake. Shore house. Real estate instructor. This is great stuff now. Okay, wonderful. Be able to have time to relax. That's true. That's true. 3 homes. There you go. Beautiful. Debt free. Retired. Oh no. Oh, baby. Okay, well, this is good, especially retired. Lake house, lake house, lake house. I love it. Being a teacher. Oh my gosh. Travel. All right, guys. Keep typing it in there, but I want you to take this sheet of paper and I want it now. I want you to see it. Whoever I want your cameras on, I want you to show me the sheet of paper right now. Show it to me. Show me the piece of paper. Show me the piece of paper. Come on, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want you guys to fold it in half. I want to see you guys folding it in half. Fold it in half again, Phil. There you go. Fold it in half. Now go like this and tear it in half. Yeah, tear it in half. I'm serious. I want you to tear it in half. If you guys fear doing the things that get you out there, those dreams are going to be much harder to get. If you guys fear to do the things that you need to do most, you're going to have a hard time reaching those dreams. You need to put yourself out there. You need to do the things that make you feel uncomfortable to be able to get to those dreams more easily. I'm not saying you won't get there, but you might get there faster if you fear a little less and you take a few more risks. I want you guys to realize that fear holds us back. And another thing that holds us back is trying to be a perfectionist. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Being a perfectionist essentially will hold you back because you're going to spend so much time trying to make this one reel the most perfect reel, and you'll never post it. I want you guys after this meeting to post something. In fact, take a little video of you on this presentation, this seminar right now, and post it on your stories with your face. I want you to show this and then zoom in on your own face. And I want you to put it on stories. And you could tag me, I'll reshare it. Tag me on your Instagram, Real Estate Sing, and I'll reshare it. Guys, follow me on Instagram. Let's connect. My YouTube is youtube.com/Real Estate Sing. Take a photo of this page. My podcast is Don't Be a Basic Biscuit. You can find it on all major platforms, and I'll be putting that out there for season 2 starting Monday. And then if you could go to my other website, which is pensite.com/x/real estate sing, I have a mini course in there on the 10 things you need to do the first moment that you become a realtor. And that is actually really helpful because a lot of experienced agents went through that and they're like, even I don't do some of this stuff. So if you go on this website at the bottom here, that is going to be a mini course that's in there as well. I would love to connect with you guys on Instagram. I would love for you guys to follow the podcast because, I put a lot of time and it is geared towards realtor and educating realtors. I would love to see you guys take my mini course. So, guys, thank you so much for attending this class, this seminar, and I will send the recording out to all you guys. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day,
Thanks,
guys.
Harveer.
Make some deals, do some deals.